I got a message for you.
Hey, how are y'all doing? This is Bobby Joe, and I want to welcome you to our show, Across the Pond. We have some real interesting guests today. They're brothers called the Brothers Collective. But first of all, I have to start out with my partner, and he is across the pond. I believe he's out in Sheffield, England today. Last show we caught him. He was out in Scotland. So, Brother Les, are you there?
I certainly am, Bobby Joe, and lovely to see you, as usual. And I'm really looking forward to having a chat with these young gentlemen. Indeed, I am.
Well, yes. Well. So without further ado, listen, I'm going to turn it over to you. As I said to our good viewers, that the name of their group is called the Brothers Collective, and I'll turn it over to Les. So, Les, take it away.
Thank you very much, Bobby Joe. Gentlemen, I believe you're from Vermont, which I believe is on the east coast of America.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
we are.
Right underneath Maine.
Yep.
My goodness, my geography is fantastic. So, guys, I can see that you're all young gentlemen, and when did you actually start playing instruments, and when did you start getting interested in music, and when did you know that you were going to be superstars for the future?
Well, I'd say we grew up in a household of music, raised on Simon and Garfunkel, the Rolling Stones, the Beatles. Our mother is a huge music fanatic, so she was fully supportive, and our father, of course, in our career choice as doing music. But I personally started as a drummer. Snare drummer in 4th grade, which you can imagine probably drove my parents crazy. But
not our mom. No, she loved it.
And then I guess I wanted to write music playing drums. So I was like, how can I get these ideas out? So I picked up guitar, and then now in the band currently I'm playing a cigar box. It's a sig fiddle instrument, which is really fun to play.
That sounds great, yeah.
Yeah.
I think what was really important about growing up is that Mom and Dad always would just buy instruments and just leave them around the house. And then they wouldn't ever be like, hey, I really want you to be a musician. It was just more or less like, hey, there's these great instruments hanging out if you want to play.
Saxophone.
Oh, it wasn't like that. It wasn't I'm the youngest, so maybe it was
like, you have to play
easier
music.
on me.
And I was like, okay. I was like, I don't want to play saxophone though. I was terrible at it. And, I made the worst noises, and I was like, well, if you want me to play music, I want to play guitar. That was, and I was like, and I was so my dad got me. I remember a cheap little Dean Stratocaster, which I used for maybe, 6 years. The action was like an inch off the fretboard. Play on a hockey stick. It was fun. It was a great tool to learn on because I never wanted to touch it again. They always encouraged us to play. They got Ryan a drum kit, and they threw us up in the attic.
Yeah, always like
Vermont, which you can imagine during the winter if you're trying to play in an attic is like 3 degrees.
It was awesome.
It's hilarious, but they just did as much as they could with what they had to support us.
Yeah.
Well, you went one step ahead of me because my parents invited me to be grandmother's attic. So did you guys while you were at school or college did you take any formal music lessons?
I took a little bit of formal guitar playing from a guitar player in Vermont, but I was so young at the time that I didn't grasp a lot of the technical aspect of it. I learned since I was first and foremost a singer. Before I even touched guitar, my mom, we always sang. So from if that was going to church or wherever in the car,
ensemble choir,
matter. Yeah. So I learned how to play mostly by ear. Most of it was hearing a song and saying, okay, I like that song. Now I'm going to try to find the notes on the neck and make a chord or play a solo or try to just learn that way. And I really didn't do much formal training. I don't know.
Yeah, I know Jacob and I have a little bit. I did a year of music theory and a little bit in high school and college, and I mean I really it interests me because I love music, but it also kind of, theory can kind of be a double-edged sword because some people, they get too in-depth with theory, and then they're like, oh, well, I have to do a diminished chord after this chord for it to make sense. And it's really, to me, some of the most creative music is a whole mashup of, different chords. Or like, I think, when I first started playing guitar, I was just like, I'm going to put my fingers here and strum and see how it sounds, and I don't know. So yeah, I have a little bit of training, but mostly I'd say by ear as well.
I think
Did you set off as a family trio, or did you go your own way and then sort of blend back into the Brothers Collective?
Yeah, so they were actually already out here. They were in a previous rock band touring around, and I was in community college, and they ended up coming up for Christmas. They wanted to jam. We went down in the basement, and it was just like a magic connection. I mean, because we're brothers too. Since then, we forgot we used to do all the time.
We can play together.
Because we were probably separated for like 2 years at least.
Yeah.
And then, I just decided it was time for me to go and pursue a career in music as well. And that was really when it started, so probably about 2 years ago with the three of us.
Yeah. And I mean, even I think before that, he had come out to visit while me and Ryan were touring around with our other band, and he came along for a ride with us.
Yeah,
and,
I was the photographer / merch
He jumped
man.
in the RV and we drove around for a couple of weeks, and I remember sitting by the pool with him, and I think that was actually the first time me and him had ever written a song together. And
But I mean, for you guys, Eugene and Ryan, I mean, that must have been a monumental decision and leap to move from Vermont out onto the West Coast.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I was going to go to Nashville originally, and he was going to go to Los Angeles, and then he had 1 year left, or about a half a year left of college.
Yeah, and what happened is I did like an internship in a recording studio in New York when I was in high school. And that sparked my interest because I have a background in audio engineering and studio work. So I was like, well, I'm going to go out to Los Angeles and go to school. And then Eugene is a...
I was just working at the time. Our father's a carpenter.
Yeah.
So I've been doing carpentry with him since I was a kid. So I was just a blue-collar
luthier,
Vermonter swinging a hammer. And Ryan had said, I want to go to Los Angeles. Me and him had been kind of, putting music together slowly, and I decided to go with him, to drop it and just go.
Yeah.
Because I was planning fixing to move anyways, so I was like, let's try it.
But I don't think we should sugarcoat the fact that you built some pretty awesome guitars.
I went to school.
Guitars, yeah.
I went to school with I went to school as well to be a luthier, so I learned how to build instruments. And
when our instruments break down,
I have a current. My workbench is
Family business.
Always full.
You got to buy me lunch.
I look forward to your own line of musical instrument guys. Excellent. Now, we've got a couple of tracks of yours to listen to. So I think what we'll do at this stage is we'll have a listen to a track called "Working Man." And I was listening to this track earlier on today, and I really like this track.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a cold, cold winter coming in. That's what the farmer said. It was warm last year. The devil made it clear he gonna freeze the ground today. It's a cold, cold That's what the preacher said. But have no fear, God made it clear. He gon' give you shelter from a stormy day. Oh, you all know what it's like to work with hands as cold as ice. You all know how it feels to be the one beneath the wheel. You all know what it's like to work with hands as cold as ice. Country folk understand what it means to be a working man. It's a cold, cold winter a-comin'. Cold winter. That's what the preacher said. Preacher said. And you best have fear, 'cause the devil's here and he gon' freeze the ground today. Oh yeah. You all know what it's like to work with hands as cold as ice. You all know how it feels to be the one beneath the wheels. You all know what it's like to work with hands as cold as ice. Country folk understand what it means to be a working man.
And that was Working Man by the Brothers Collective, who we have the honour of having a chat with today. Now, do you, when you're writing songs, do you write them as a collective, or do you write it as an individual and bring it to the collective?
It depends. It depends. That song, actually, in particular, Ryan had come up with that part on the sig fiddle that's in the intro, and me and him were just kind of jamming on it, and I heard it, and I was like, hey, I want to try to write a song to this. So I came up with an idea, and then came up with some lyrics. We all met up on a Sunday, I think, together, and hung out and had some coffee, and sat down, had a couple of beers, and looked at the lyrics, and sat there and changed words, and put a chorus together, and had a, just kind of, we help each other hone in on whatever we've written. So I think a lot of it is coming up with a general idea together, someone refining it and coming up with a better picture, and then everyone coming back in together and really trying to tighten it up.
Well, yeah, it's important, like, we all question each other with, you come with a song and then you question, like, oh, well, why do these lines mean what they mean to you, or what is the message you're trying to convey?
Totally.
Yeah. And how can that relate to your listener? It's kind of like, we kind of like check each other out.
Or like,
balance and check. Yeah.
Yeah, and like, also, with, of course, being brothers and being in a band, I mean, we all know the stories of, like, you know, bands and people wanting creative control and all that kind of stuff, but we've honestly, and it's good for us and our bond as brothers, but we've really become selfless in our music, where it's like, okay, well, regardless of, you know, the lyrics, let's try changing this lyric, let's try changing this part, see how we like it, you know, and most of the time we realize, you know, that it was a good change to make.
Someone's not changing it because like we would, I think we would get ahead of ourselves sometimes and be like, oh, you're trying to change my song, but the reality is, you know, Ryan and Jacob aren't trying to change my song, or I'm not trying to change one of their songs because we're trying to sabotage it. We're all, and then like that was kind of like, you know, we'd be like, oh, you're trying to change my song. It's just like, yeah, but you know, we're not trying to like.
We're not 10 anymore.
Doesn't it doesn't make sense to.
I'm not trying to put
throw a
ants
wrench in the
lemonade.
gear. Yeah. So,
Absolutely. Now, listening to the EP that you've recently released, I'm getting kind of the idea that you really try to get the harmonies right in your songs. Am I right there?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
I think that.
So,
go ahead.
So, as far as these harmonies go, are these kind of things that have that you started as yous, as children? You know, singing in the car when you're on your way on holiday or things like that.
Our mom always played music and always sang at the top of her lungs in the car.
And I think
always.
Eugene and I
Still does.
especially
Still does.
did a lot of choir in high school.
I did a ton of choir, men's
um,
ensembles, chambers ensembles, sung with church.
Yeah.
Always singing, always. Our parents, Dad always used to play.
And Ryan would sing
plays
with
and
the other
sings.
band that Eugene was in with him.
Yeah.
So I
Singing
think
has become more of, I think, for Ryan though, more of a recent thing.
Yeah,
This
I
three-part
actually
is
started.
really-
Like I said, I started as a drummer, so that was my main focus for like, you know, probably 9 years was playing drums, and of course writing as well. And I would always sing. For me, it started with people just kind of like the tone of my voice because it has a unique sound to it. And actually, I had a sight singing teacher that was like, "You shouldn't sing because you don't have you have good tone or pitch, but your tone isn't good." And I was like, "I'm gonna sing," because you told me I can't.
Yeah. Take this.
you give her like 10 examples of famous singers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've certainly been impressed with what I've heard so far. In so much some of your songs reminded me very, very much of the harmonies that the Eagles used to put into their songs.
Totally.
So you would before we came on air, you were happily singing away there. So are you going to give us a little sample of the harmonies that you can actually put together?
Yeah,
You want to play with us?
You want to? Oh,
Yeah.
give us
So
a.
Bobby play a little harmonica.
Yeah.
This is,
Now we're in the key of G, right?
Yeah.
G. This is a song 10 years off the EP.
You want to go from the chorus into the verse, like we did?
The verse and the chorus and the chorus and the verse.
Of course.
Is
Okay,
it
we'll
just
go
on
with
the,
Yeah.
We'll go on the chorus. Here we go.
Yeah, yes.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
10 long years, where will I go and where will I be? 10 long years, where will I go and where will I be? 10 long years, where will I go and where will I be? 10 long years, passing right in front of me. They said, kid, don't you wanna be like me? Raise your flag from a branch off the family tree. Watch the seasons mix with rain, and the days just roll away. They said, kid, don't you wanna be like me? 10 long years, where will I go and where will I be? 10 long years, 10 long years.
I be? 10 long years, passing right in front of me.
Excellent.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Well done. There are not many musicians that will do that impromptu. So I'd like to bring in the gentleman to the right of my screen, and that's Michael Childress, and he is your creative management. So Michael, how did you meet up with these guys?
Well, it's an interesting story. For 15 years, I've been trying to find a group of young men that were dedicated, hardworking, that had all the properties that I grew up with. I was fortunate enough to run into these gentlemen through another young man that I work with. Most of the people that I work with within my company are older, but you know, life experiences with all the greats of history I've had the opportunity to work with. And I wanted to share this before I get too old to remember what I know, you know. And these gentlemen embraced what I had to offer. And they had all the qualities. Being a Midwesterner myself, Vermont's not that far away from that style of life. And we made a connection, a respectful connection. You know, it's hard to find new generation young gentlemen that are willing to really put in the work to attain their dream. And these gentlemen have epitomized the new future of great music. Our generation of the Eagles. You know, this is it. This is 2017 as how it should evolve, and they're blending blues and they're blending pop, and they're honoring the people that have given them this emotional energy for these licks. So Les, you know, you wait all your life for these opportunities, and my business is rather successful, but I've dropped the ball on a lot of great opportunities to invest my time and energy with these young men, because I know they got it. You know, they're appealing to 8 to 80. You know the old story, and we need to do that in this turmoil world right now. We need to be able to have a universal music that we can all say, yeah, we connect to, you know. So I'm very proud to be working with these gentlemen. And I, as an external member of the family, which is rare in the business as well, as you know, we're a force to be reckoned with. They have a future. And they want to let your audience, as well as the American audience, get a chance to meet them from the beginning, and that's exactly where we're at right now. And it's a wonderful journey. So thanks for asking. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for bringing the Brothers Collective to us, Michael. It's been an absolute pleasure interviewing you guys, and it was a real pleasure meeting you last week in Los Angeles.
Oh yeah, it was great.
And we had a couple of moments and a couple of beers. Well, I had a couple of beers. So it was a real pleasure. So I'd just like to say ever so much a big thank you to you all for coming into the studio. It's been great. I'm sure our viewers have thoroughly enjoyed it. And we're going to listen to a track for yours off the EP, and I believe it's called Believer.
It is indeed.
Yes, it is.
Been running hard, and my feet are barely carrying me on. Won't be long now. Gotta keep on thinking, I'm dreaming out loud. Another mile by, another day survive. Keep running hard, 'cause you know, sometimes I feel real low. I'm a believer that everything will be alright. Got all I need, yeah, front of my eyes. Gonna take the back road. Gonna take the back road. I'm a believer that everything will be alright. Everything will be alright. Ain't got too much, but my hopes and dreams inside my gut. Ain't got no one who's gonna get me across that river easy done. Another year is past. It ain't slowing my tracks. Keep running hard, 'cause you know, sometimes I feel real low. I'm a believer that everything will be alright. Got all I need, yeah, right here in front of my eyes. Gonna take the back road. Gonna take the back road. I'm a believer that everything will be alright. Everything will be alright. I chase the sun as it falls from the sky. Won't stop till my knees buckle and cry. Sweet talk the moon for an early, early rise. And I'll put those stars in the sky right in my eyes. Yeah, I'm a believer that everything will be alright. 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 Oh, I'm a believer that everything will be alright. I do believe. I'm a believer that everything will be alright. Gonna take the back road. Gonna take the back road. Gonna take the back road. I'm a believer that everything will be alright. Everything will be alright. I said everything will be alright. Everything will be alright.
Fabulous. Well, I think you'll agree that the Brothers Collective is one to keep your eyes and your ears certainly wide open. I've been absolutely, really, really impressed with you guys. And like I said before, thanks ever so much for coming in. And I look forward to hearing more of your music very, very soon.
Thanks, Les, man. It's a wonderful experience to be talking to you over the pond, man. It's really cool.
Yeah, Les,
It
thank
certainly
you so
is,
much.
but I do prefer speaking over a beer face to face.
Yeah. Let's make that happen.
We'll see you soon, man.
Yeah,
Thanks for having us.
no problem. See you soon.
See you soon.
Bobby Joe, we've had a busy couple of weeks, haven't we?
I mean, brother, how about that? All this that we had that wonderful time at the Biltmore here. It was last weekend, wasn't it?
Yep, it seems like weeks and weeks ago, but yes, it was fantastic to meet up with you again, Bobby Joe and the guys and Michael, when we signed Buddy Reed to the Global Entertainment and Media record label, which was absolutely fabulous, a great occasion.
Wasn't that though? And boy, what a great choice to be in such a historic building, and Buddy is still just walking on, not even on the floor, because he's so excited about what we're going to be doing with him, and getting ready, putting together some tours for him, and just what a grand occasion. Stuff.
Well, it is, and it was ever so exciting. But the gentleman sitting next to you, the future of the music industry,
boy.
and whereas we're working with Buddy, who is a monumental figure in music of bygone years, I'm really looking forward to getting Buddy across here to the UK. And yes, things are already moving on that part.
Yeah, it's really. But that is, it was such a pleasure and an honor to have these cats on our show. That this is the future, and this is what it's all about. And us old Buddy calls us old geezers. Those old geezers are, still hanging in there. But now we've got our next show. We've got a really prominent cat coming on here, right?
Yeah, we certainly have. We have John Sykes, who is a local businessman here in round about the Sheffield area, certainly in Yorkshire, and he is also an ex-member of Parliament. So it's going to be very interesting having a chat with John about his politics, his time in the Houses of Parliament, and how the whole thing works or perhaps doesn't work.
Yeah.
We'll have to ask John on that one.
Yeah.
And I know that in a lot of our political ideals, myself and John are miles apart, but we do have a lot of similarities, and I think that's maybe because we're just old.
Yeah. Well, very cool. Well, listen, brother, man, it's always a pleasure to see you there, Pard, and really enjoyed seeing you in person here a week or so ago. And we just keep setting them up and knocking them down, aren't we, on our show here across the pond?
We will indeed, Bobby Joe. And just for your viewers, here's where you can get in touch with certainly me and the other guys at Global Entertainment and Media Limited. It's got our address on there. It's got my telephone number, the office telephone number, emails and website. So there you go. How good is that?
Yes, and I'll put I'll also, because I have some of Jack Cooper, who is our marketing director, and all kind of business goes through Jack. I'll put on the show here, I'll put his card up there and how people can contact him and stuff. Well, listen, I think we've come up to our time and everything. It's always a pleasure, brother, and we'll do the next one, huh?
It most certainly is, and a big thank you to Jasmine and Gabe for the production there at Rialto Networks, and again a big thanks to Brothers Collective and Michael Childress.
All right.
Thank you, brother.
All righty, brother.
Thank you.
See y'all later.
1, 2, 3. When that world is just breathing down my back, all the animals they want to attack, I say no. Say no. I say no. Say no. 'Cause even though